favorite things about engineering is making things more efficient. I know that's not the focus of every engineering discipline, but as an industrial and systems engineer, it's what we thrive on. How can we make it better, cheaper, faster, the design more aesthetically pleasing? So yeah, that's my favorite thing.
My favorite thing about being an engineer is finding a solution to a problem, no matter how minute the details are, and making that solution work for the best.
My favorite task as an engineer, seeing the end result actually come to life after all the ups and downs and hard work and maybe a few late nights, getting out into the field or the fabrication shop or whatever it may be specifically, and actually seeing the product or item or project fully come together is just so rewarding. I think that's the huge payoff for me as being an engineer.
My biggest challenge as an engineer is that I'm often thinking about my projects after hours. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm often thinking about my designs and how to make them better. My biggest challenge is trying to create a healthy balance between my work and the rest of my life.
I think my favorite task as an engineer is to be able to use my creativity, my knowledge, my technical skills, and my ability to solve difficult problems in the simplest way possible to bring a beautiful project into reality. I feel very challenged, which inspires me to always drive myself to be better, to find a better answer, to find a more effective answer. And I think there are multiple ways to solve a problem, and finding the most efficient way is what an engineer does. And getting up every morning and finding an easy solution for a difficult problem is what inspires me every day.
I believe engineers make life better for others, for the world at large. In the work that we do, we solve problems. We work to apply engineering principles in the real world and to provide a quality of life that often gets overlooked. Throughout history, you think about Apollo, and the space program, and major civil engineering landmarks and our Hoover Dam and other things like that. But there's a lot of achievements that engineering has contributed to our society that impact our lives every day, probably a lot more so than some of those more glamorous examples. And I think sometimes we take those for granted.